Listen, let me just tell y'all a little something right now, okay? Thank you so much for following us and sticking in with us for the Savon Experience podcast. There isn't one day that goes by where I don't thank all of my supporters, my subscribers, my viewers, like, share, all that good stuff. I don't know about y'all, but this week has been a week for me. Okay? I'm just going to let you in my business just a tad bit. So, I wear many hats and I do a lot of things in my professional career. So, you know, a lot of things has been happening in one particular area, and I don't know about anybody else who's at a job or working somewhere. And there's times when you know you bring a lot to the table, and you just feel like you're overlooked. They're just not really utilizing you and your skill set the way that you know they could be utilized, and you just don't know which area God is trying to lead you into, right? It's almost like a season of shift. So you're in your head, you're trying to, definitely make connections. You're trying to ensure that you're being, not only approachable, but you're valuable. You're bringing what you need to bring to the table. So I definitely want to just say, listen, I've been given a new opportunity and I'm excited about it, and I'm over anxious about it because I'm an overachiever. I'm also a perfectionist, and sometimes those two get in the way of each other. Overachieving and being a perfectionist get in the way of each other. Somebody hear me out there in the back? In the back, who hears me back there, right? So, with all that being said, let me silence this, honey, because we trying to do some stuff today. Let me put this on silent, honey. But so it kind of gets in the way. So I'm in my head. I'm trying to make sure I'm doing things the right way, make sure I'm approaching it the right way. I want to show up and I want to show out pretty much. So it's been a week, but I'm really excited to be here talking to my peeps, my divas, and my Givas of the Savon Experience. We're going to get into just a little quick show today. Y'all know that I have been watching the Jerrod Carmicheal reality show on HBO Max. I don't know if any of you guys have caught that show. My previous recording, I think I did like a quick synopsis of episode 1 through 5. So with that being said, I mean, it's a lot. The show is definitely a lot. But what I will say, I think it's necessary. I think it's really necessary. I wasn't sure how necessary it was. I wasn't sure how it was going to be received. I wasn't sure what we were going to get. My God, it's somebody's coming out story again, girl. We're in 2024, girl. We have heard all about the coming out stories, but yet some of y'all still act brand new, like being a part of the legitimate quiet experience in life is just so, oh, 2024. This shit wasn't happening when Jesus was around, walking the earth, being God's child. Like, everybody's extra brand new. But anyway, I do like the Jerrod Carmichael show. It is one of the few shows that I actually will tune in Saturday, because I'm not doing it Friday night because I be tired. I'm working. But I will tune in Saturday, anxiously awaiting the latest episode. This week is episode 6. So listen, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. I'm going to give those a few moments to tap your heels together, get your shoes, grab your coat, grab your things, and exit stage left. Because if you've not seen the episode, I do not want to spoil it for you. So, let's take a sip while we wait for those to gather themselves. And just come back, though, girl. Like, don't leave me hanging, bitch. Bring your ass back after you watch the show. We just giving them a minute to roll through. Just come on. Yeah, yeah. Just grab your coat, girl. All right, great. Close the door behind you. Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm. All right, they gone. So, episode 6, the Jerrod Carmichael show, reality show. It starts out, and we know this episode is going to be about his mom. We know that this is going to be one of the episodes we've been anxiously waiting for. The mom episode. We have seen in the previous episodes where he's been extremely anxious about talking to his mom, pissed off. at his mom. Shit, I think he called her the B word, honey. Just in his stand up um comedian act. Yet we still have seen him really try to find a space for her, right? Like our parents are important to us. They really are. So the show starts out. He hasn't talked to his mom consistently in like a year since he's come out. And so that has weighed on him heavily. And I don't know if anyone listening to the episode, this podcast, understands the process of communicating something to your parents that you've not communicated before, coming out, sharing a secret, um, changing directions in your life, or just giving some news that you or they feel is disappointing news, right? And so, the one thing that they started to show off with was her apologizing, to the reaction, apologizing how she reacted to his news, him coming out. Now, to level set to some of y'all who haven't seen the show, she's one of these strong, women who have deeply rooted herself in religion. I believe she is a minister herself. So faith has been the glue. It has been the center. It has been the nucleus for her, in overcoming things in life. And Jerrod talks about this in his previous episode that for her, finding religion was her way of dealing with life challenges, struggles, trying to center herself around something to hold on to. So with that, I mean, she seems to love and adore God and really follow the book, the Bible. That's the book I'm talking about, by the letter. Like she's following it. It is her blueprint. And so she apologizes to him and she basically says that, listen, I love and accept you for who you are. Okay. But before we go there was a scene, and I need to watch it again. There was a scene when it started where, Jerrod is coming in. He's like there's a plethora of gifts. I don't know if it was his sister, cousin, it was a family member. There was a check of cheeses. And it was beautiful because you could tell people hadn't seen him in a while, since the day that he came out the closet. So that door busted wide open, and it was a beautiful scene. It was a beautiful scene. I was glad to see it. And so then they kind of segue into him and his mom talking in the park. Let me just say, girl, oh, she is absolutely beautiful. She doesn't look like, I admire women who don't look like the challenges and the struggles that they've gone through. They don't look like the things that they've been delivered from. Like she's beautiful. I wouldn't have thought that she was his mom. I mean, she's just so beautiful, beautiful skin. The one thing, as I said, on the park, they talked, and she wanted to, just kind of like have a moment. Listen, I love you. I love you for who you are. You will always be my child first. I accept you, and you know, and love you unconditionally. And she said, no matter what you choose in life, God loves the people that He's made. Whether you are a murderer or gay or whatever the case may be. And the one thing that I found interesting about the conversation, and not just with her, but with a lot of people in these families, and they have, you know, the basis of the family is religion. And anytime there's a discussion around, oh, we love you unconditionally, and no matter what you do and who you are, they always start with like crimes, like whether you're a murderer or, whatever the case may be. They always compare that to, the same thing as being gay. And so it's insightful. I'm not sure why people use these comparisons as if they're the same, because they're not the same. I think people flock to like the parts of the Bible where God is that they're wanting to highlight, where God is understanding and loving, and regardless of what you've done and regardless of your sins, and um so I love you. And but when they say stuff like that, it's almost like they're saying it as if they're like a do-gooder. Like they have no sin. They've made no mistakes. And there's nothing about them that's challenging, right? That's questionable. And from what I remember, honey, we're all sinners. Everyone is a sinner, according to the Bible, according to that good book, right? Everyone's a sinner. So if everyone's a sinner, why do we have these discussions with each other, or people of the cloth have the discussions with people who are they're mentoring or consulting or pastoring or whatever you want to say? Why they always start with this shit like the only sinner in the room is the person they're talking to and not themselves? I'll wait. I don't understand that at all. Most people always flock to the parts of the Bible that they agree with and totally ignore the rest, right? Because there's passages about, Mary Magdalene. What's her name? Well, I'm fucking up her name trying to talk about shit. Mary, the whore, the prostitute, honey. And yet she was an essential part of Jesus' story, right? And a lot of times we'll come out of the closet, those who live in the faith strongly. They always say about, you made this decision to be gay. And, I know that's the choice that you've made and I love you and blah, blah, blah. And I don't think people understand that there isn't a decision that's being made. And Jerrod made sure that he highlighted that point passionately. I don't know if I would have been as aggressive in that point as he was. And let me not say aggressive because I don't want to paint him in that way. He has his reasons, right? You get tired of the stereotypes, and even when it comes down to those who stereotype in the legitimate cause, it's always a stereotype that they paint, and it's always this matter of choice, right? And he's like, I was born this way. I didn't choose to be gay. I didn't wake up one day and say, oh, I'm going to exercise this gay muscle today. I'm going to flex it out. Like, this is what I want to do. This is what I'm into. This is what I'm going to do. I'm into this, right? This is a decision that I've made, and everybody else is going to have to suck it and deal with it, right? And so, I don't really like when people do that. And people only do that when they don't understand it, right? And so he made the comparison. He said, well, did you wake up and just say that you were straight? Like, did you make that decision? Or was it just something that naturally came to you? Like you when you were attracted to, his father, or you were just attracted to his father. There wasn't a decision that was being made. And so, she stated, well, when you made the decision to live the gay life, right, so even though it's wrong, and God doesn't, he doesn't approve of it, you made the decision to live the gay life. And so when people say that, what they're saying is you made the decision to live out loud. You made the decision to no longer live in this closet beating the fuck out of yourself every day, right? Living a life of shame, right? You chose to show up authentically the way most people get to show up of the heterosexual experience, a heteronormative life. They show up themselves. There's no thought. There's no, oh, I'm going to do this today. You're just waking up and you're existing and you're living and you're doing what you do. Right? So I don't think that it was a choice to be gay, but there is a choice to live out loud and live honestly and to be free. And yes, he made the choice to live free versus living in the closet or fighting who he is and having this feeling of depression and this leads to a lot of roads when you're not able to be yourself authentically, so I loved how he challenged her when she said I love you unconditionally, because it doesn't feel unconditional when you share something about you or share something that you've done and there's this moment of disappointment and everyone kind of go to their corners and there's no reaching out and trying to console and try to let the person know, hey, I get it, I may not understand it, but I still love you. Let's start with it. Let's lead with that. Okay, now this is something that I need to process, right? You know what my faith is and my belief is. However, I do love you. Lead with that, right? And I'm sorry that you couldn't come to me about that. I've made you feel that you couldn't come to me. I've said things, and I don't think people realize the things that they say in their regular life about other people experiences, things that people do, your feedback to your loved ones, to your friends, to your grandkids, to your nieces, nephews, brothers and sisters, the feedback that you give in everyday situations pretty much let people know how they should show up with you. And we talked about this on my last episode, or what we were talking about, how do you show up? um when you say things and how you deal with things, people take clues from that, and that lets them know how they're going to deal with you. Or if there's something they want to tell you about, they can't tell you about it because you've given them this response to something that may have nothing to do with them, but they see how you reacted to it. I don't think people think about the things that you say when someone's talking about an incident. For instance, somebody calling your cousin. Everybody's had this in their family. You done heard of that your cousin has done something crazy, and everybody's talking about it, right? And the response, to whatever the cousin did is so wild that when you run or face your issues and trying to face your fears, and you want to share something about you've already seen how they dealt with your cousin. So you're like, oh no, I'm not gonna say shit, right? So Jerrod challenged that. He said, you say that you love me unconditionally, and I believe that she does. I think she's just trying to find a way to maneuver, like, how do I love someone that has done something so egregious, because that's what she feels that it is, like, the lifestyle is an abomination and all this other stuff. But how do I sit in this space and love my child and then still be, a representative of the Lord, right? People do that, and that's a struggle. You try to figure out how to be a parent and an example, and some people feel that being, accepting of it is also throwing it in God's face, and they don't know how to maneuver in that space. But anyway, he challenged. He said, you can't say you love me unconditionally, because I think that, if you love me unconditionally, you would love me now. You wouldn't have changed. You would still be my mother. This me being gay wouldn't be such a big issue. And although I agree with that, I think what we often do as people of the legitimate community, coming out and sharing our story, or coming out the closet with our family and our friends, I think we tend to forget the years that we had processing this, coming to grips with it, getting to a point of where you want to actually come out the closet and talk about it and be and live your life openly and authentically. There was years in the making getting you to where you are. So when you decide to make that brave decision to live authentically out loud, bravo to you. But I think we often forget that our parents, our people, those who may not have known or who we know will have the biggest challenge dealing with it, I think we forget that they need time to also go through their cycle of emotions, to go through, they may have questions. They may, really, really need time to process it. And I think often these days we see that, oh my God, we love you so much. This is great. This is great news. And they think their parents are going to find the biggest, baddest, loudest, brightest float in the pride parade. And like, this is my gay child and I love you. And although that's the experience for some, because some people, most parents don't give a fuck. Like, I thought you was gonna tell me something like for real crazy. Like, I love you regardless. There's some parents who do react that way, like, baby, and it's also some parents that be like, listen, we already knew. Because I believe there was a scene in the episode where he was telling his friends, and they was like, it wasn't no surprise to me. Often than not, that's the case. Most people in your court, in your village, already know. So anyway, the one thing that I do feel that he needs to allow her time, allow parents to process, right? We've had years to do it. We've dealt with it. When we finally came to the point that we're going to come out, we know there's still lots of growth to be had, but I think we often forget that our parents need that same time. keep the communication lines open. Don't shut down just because you feel like they're not accepting. And I do believe also in this episode, he was with his brother's wife and she talked about that. And I'm like, bravo, for talking about that. She said, listen, you came out and you told your story. And when it didn't go your way, you left. You didn't talk to anybody in the family for like a whole year, for at least a year. And she said she felt that was unfair. She said, I'm not saying that how your mother dealt with it and what she did was right, but you weren't right either. Like, she has to have time to process. A lot of times parents, they have these dreams that they had for us, when we were in the womb, and they just knew we were going to be doctors and lawyers, and or I don't know, have a family of grandkids that we're going to bring in, and she was going to have a beautiful, stepdaughter or daughter-in-law, and all this other stuff, and that they have to grieve the fact that that's not going to happen for you. Now there are other great things that can still happen for you. Just because you're gay doesn't mean it's the end of the world, but for them, they have to process that, especially depending on where they were in their mindset about it. Now parents, what I will say, don't take too goddamn long, because what I will also combat that whole um last update that I gave them, what I'll come back to that would be if he suddenly became a doctor, a lawyer, a judge, right? President, governor, senator. It would be it's amazing how quickly it is to accept that new norm and immediately start using the right, words to describe them. Oh, this is my son, Dr. So and so. This is so and so, Esquire. This is Judge Jerrod Carmichael. Oh, this is my famous son, the comedian Jerrod Carmichael. You understand what I'm saying? You don't say, oh, this is my gay son, Jerrod Carmichael. But you have to be aware that when it's something that you agree with, that you're super proud of, it doesn't take you a long time to become adjusted to that new narrative. So don't spend too much time trying to process this. It's not that serious. Like, you're going to have to find your way. No one can tell you how. We just need to give you the time, but don't take too damn long, because one thing we don't get back is time. So, of course, in this episode, the one thing that I feared happening was going to happen. Jerrod wanted his boyfriend to meet his mom. And see, y'all, I have a problem with meeting parents and things like that, especially when things are sticky with them and it's a lot of things left on the table that's not unspoken, that's unsettled. She's just really getting used to you being a good old legitimate honey. And now you want to bring in the boyfriend who, like, oh my God, like you want to throw more into her face about it right now. And I get that this is something that has to become the new norm. And I get it's a show and I was here for it and seeing it. But if I was that boyfriend, first of all, I would not have gone to see his mother, his parents. We were just on an episode. We was talking about you cheating and don't know how to deal with me not being in the same state with you. Like, what the fuck? Why would I go see your parents and we don't even know if we're going to make it in this relationship space? Like, I think people often, when coming out and not even just the gay community, but the straight community too, sometimes y'all be trying to meet parents too goddamn fast, in my opinion. Take you some time to really get to know each other first. Make sure this is y'all want to really be with each other. Take a year and a half, two, maybe. That's what I think. Make sure that, whatever challenges you guys have, that you're going to be able to work through those challenges. If he's cheating, honey, make sure we have a solution to the cheat, honey, because every you meet the family and then you leave him because he keep cheating on you. And it's like, okay, now you done wasted all your good energy and space to go meet parents who really wasn't seeing it for the relationship, let alone you. And for what? Now, I get it's a TV show. I understand that. And I know we only get good 30 minutes every week. It's a whole bunch of shit that go on in the back, the back scene. So I get that. But I'm just saying, this is what you presented to us. And so this is what we talking about, right? We need to remember that, I don't think we should be so quick to be just, saying, oh my God, this is my boyfriend, this is my girlfriend. Like, y'all still dating, y'all still getting to know each other. To me, the dating is still, well, you on the market until we in a full-fledged relationship, right? So I ain't really like that. And then he didn't really let her know that he was coming until like the ass in and he was already in town. Well, by the way, my boyfriend's here. Don't you want to meet him? Bitch, what if she would have said no? You would have been mad in your feelings and had so much shit to say, but you didn't give her the opportunity to even know that like you putting her on the spot. Y'all just started talking 2 days ago. Right. That's a huge step. Huge step. And in my opinion, the relationship is just really too young for that right now. You need to work out some other issues, like you being able to not have somebody's toes in your mouth when he go home, a day after he go home, because you feel some kind of way. And then, Jerrod, you need to also make sure you start respecting people's times, honey. Everything is not on your timeline. That is the most arrogant shit that I have ever seen. And once again, this is 30 minutes of the show. I'm just going off what I see, right? But one thing that I will say to y'all, just to cap this up, because we're hitting our 30 minutes mark, I love the scene with the sister in law was checking him politely. She tapped him on his shoulder and said, I love you, and I'm not taking a side, but this is the shit you did wrong. And I see the hurt in your eyes, but I'm just trying to. And that's what real people do. They give you real feedback with love, gently tapping you, right? And she did that. So before we go, girl, it just this goddamn weird girl. Ugh. He gets to his parents' house with his boyfriend, girl. You can feel the damn tension in the air. You can cut it with a damn butter knife. Now, Jerrod's dad said, Hey, son. I was like, Oh, that warmed my heart because he sure enough put his ass on blast on that last episode. You did, Jerrod. You put his ass on blast on the last episode, and you had to talk about some shit. Now, I didn't know how he was going to deal with talking to your ass after that. He said he knew it, though. But I was so emotional in his dad because his dad just, ugh. But I ain't gonna do too much because his dad was also the same man that every Friday, because Gerard talked about this, honey, when he was a child. He remember cuddling up and having Friday nights with his mom and them cuddling and talking and having a good time. And he saw how it transitioned from her that being there for him into him being there for her, because every Friday he's going to a fake job. I don't know how he did that fake job. What was the money? What was the paycheck looking like? I believe she knew. But a whole 40-year relationship with a whole nother woman, and you're raising him, and every Friday this is what you're going to do, right? And so this lady has been through some things, you hear me, and she's still with him, holding on and still strong, right? So if you can hold on and still strong for your husband who got a whole family, you can damn sure get over the fact that your son is a bro sister sissy girl, a part of the legitimate cause. Okay, you can get over that, girl. And I don't know if she was just kind of distance, because if you from the black family, you already know we don't need everybody in our goddamn business, especially if you a minister. We don't need everybody in our business. You don't brought all these cameras in the house, honey. They all up in our business. I have to mind my actions because everything gonna be taken and probably misconstrued. You get what I'm saying? It's a whole mood, and you can see all that in her. If you have a black mom, you know exactly what that's giving. She was like, listen, let me hurry and get this shit done so they get the hell up out of my house, honey, because I want to have a real conversation and I want to be respectful, but I also don't want no bullshit. Okay? And we don't know how this is going to go because she know her child too. It is a whole TV show. I hope they come to some sort of conclusion, and I hope they don't take too long. I don't know. Time is not something you get back. Time is not something that's promised to you. All you can do is what you can do now. And this is why I want Jerrod, you to be more respectful of people's times. First of all, the episode you showed up an hour late and you were the best man, and then showing up late at your mother's house and she's already probably in her feelings and nerves, and you just show up late. Like, I'm gonna need you to get it together, but I'm gonna also need y'all to, I hope, because we know this was obviously filmed a year ago if it's coming out now. So I hope they're in a better position now, because I would love to see more episodes. I would love to see more of this show, because I think it's bravo to you for sharing such hard topics and hard moments for us to talk about, criticize, give feedback on. You're a lot better than most of us. I'm gonna say, brother, a whole lot better than most of us. Thank you for that. I think we need it. I didn't know what the show was going to give initially, but now I think it's going to be a show that's going to be one of those shows that become a staple in our community, because we need to see more shows like that. It is honest, brutally honest, Lord, almost cringe honest to me, like cringy honest, but It is. Um, but y'all hadn't seen the episode. I need y'all to go check it out. Check it out. So, for the last part of my particular podcast, y'all know I'm a hairstylist, right? So, I wouldn't be me if I didn't shout out a hairstylist, a video that I've seen. And right now, I am absolutely obsessed, obsessed with this particular content creator that's on Instagram. God is taking over hair salon. I know we just had this whole conversation. And of course, I would have a God is taking over hair salon. The girl, I hope the sissies can come in your salon and get this good work that you be giving to the girls. And I hope you don't be tripping because I hope you ain't one of those salons that's too churchy where you can't provide a service though. But y'all listen, y'all go out there to Instagram and y'all look up God is taking over hair salon. I am obsessed, and let me give you a good visual look into what she's posted recently. And then I'll give you my brief for the last 5 minutes, girl, and let you go on about your way. Oh, oh, but why they do her like that? Why they do that girl like that? I saw that video, and that's the video that made me fall in love with her and want to start following her because there's something about her styles that give me it's nostalgic. And this particular style that she posted, I think it was this week. Oh my God. Check it out, girl. Girl, she got waterfalls, feathering. Girl, I can smell the pump it up. Oh, the detail is there. It's giving you concrete. Girl, the blades, baby, it's just sliced pie. It's something about the way she do hair that's nostalgic for me because when I was in hair school, it was in the '90s. So waterfall blades, real fresh, shiny, pristine, polished French rolls, honey. We had the waves that was lifted up in a crunch, honey. Scrunch waves, honey, into the French roll, the barrel curls, or the ponytails, the crispies. If you were a stylist of the '90s, you knew exactly what was giving, and these kind of styles were giving. Especially these are the styles that you would see if you was in the '90s going to Freaknik, etc. So I can just smell the pump it up, honey. I bet them irons is black as hell just from build up to where she done fried that hair into place, baby. But she gives you detail. I would love to see as she continues in her career, because I believe she's obviously younger than me. Well, I want to see what she does with soft styles, right? But one thing about it, when someone can give you that amount of detail, the world is lit. Their possibilities are limitless because not everyone can do. And as much as I'm saying things about their particular style, that's not easy to do. To be that creative, it's not easy to do. To manipulate their hair, to blend it into place, it's not easy to do. Now that hairstyle is gonna look like that for the next 2 weeks until she come back because baby, it ain't softening. It is waterproof. It has water repellent in it, I'm pretty sure. But I am obsessed with God is taking over hair salon on Instagram. I follow her, girl, and I'm gonna post as much as I can and react to it because y'all know I also do my hairstyles reactions on TikTok and Instagram on my T-Leon's hairstyles page from T-Leon's Unique Design. So, yes, ma'am. Bravo to Black Hair Excellence, honey, from the Hair Corner, from the Savon Experience podcast. Thank you guys so much for joining me this week as we just recapped on my feelings, comments of the Jerrod Carmicheal episode 6 reality show, and see you hopefully next week. Thank you so very much, and I love y'all for riding with me. All 6 of y'all that watch and listen to the podcast. Thank you very much. Mwah. And good night, everyone. Bye bye.